Okay, so we are live. Hello, guys. Let me know who is joining in this evening. Drop me a comment and then let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to be taking a brief, like a short break. And of course, I'll come back shortly. Let's know the people that are joining the live broadcast this evening. And also, let me know where you're watching from. Yeah, I didn't just want to announce that I was coming live so that I can see the people that are always there. So thanks, guys. Let me take a very quick break and then I'll be right back. Thanks for joining. Of course, comment, drop me a comment. Tell me where you're watching from, where you're joining this live video from this evening. Um, like the video, comment, share. That is so powerful. Of course, it is the most honorable thing to do this evening. All right, I'll be right back.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears have gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again to a family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the live broadcast. I just want to thank you so much for being part of the broadcast this evening. I don't know where you're watching from, of course, but I want to assure you that this is a very interesting live show today. Of course, if you are joining in on your behalf or maybe to get information that can help someone out there, just stay tuned. I'm going to be talking a lot about some of the advantages, how you can be able to get in or apply for the USDV lottery this year, some of the advantages that you have, like over last year, and why you should not relent. Because I know that a lot of people played last year. Hey, share, just share click the share button, click like, comments. Of course, I always want to know my viewers. I always want to know who is watching me, and I also want to know where you are watching from. And of course, there is never a day that you'll come here and go back the same. Thank you guys for being part of the broadcast this evening. Let's know what's your name. Where are you watching from? Okay, I see Irene Peace joining. Vanessa, good evening. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Nisi, for being part of the live broadcast. Sobande being part of the live broadcast. Okay, so I will be starting the live broadcast right away. Let me come to the screen so that we can all see each other. Hey, and there you go. My name is Daddy Christian Gong, as you all know. Today is a very interesting day, of course. It's an opportunity for us to talk a little bit about the US DV lottery that was launched. I want us to talk about some of the advantages that you will have if you are going in for the DV lottery this year. I also want us to talk about the do's and the don'ts. One of the reasons why I decided to do this live show today, because I know last year I did a lot of live shows talking about the USDV lottery, and then by the grace of God, we had a good number of people that won, which were planning to receive them this 2024. Now, there are a lot of mistakes that people still did commit, and then we are always trying to see how we can better up ourselves, how we can improve every year, how we can use the slightest opportunity to improve. Our main aim is to build a community where people are satisfied, to build a community where people are able to get what they want, and that is why we are building you morally, we are building you psychologically, we are building you financially, we are building you economically. We are not just sharing the knowledge, we are also trying as much as possible to share the opportunities that are out there, that you can be able to, you can acquire, that can help you to advance. So that's why I'm here. So I'm going to be talking a lot today about the USDV launch. Of course, you can always ask me your questions in the course of this live show, whatever doubts that you have heard, and how you think that we can be able to assist you. And I'm always here to help. That's my job. I'm there to help, and I'm so happy when I help. All right, Clement, good evening. How are you doing today? We have a nest. Is it a Meldin? Cynthia, we have Sidonie joining in. Let me go down. Genevieve, thanks for being part of the live broadcast. Nee Brenda joining in. Now, just before I begin to talk about the DV lottery, I want to tell you guys a secret. You know, last year we discovered that a lot of people were talking about DV lottery. A lot of people played, because myself, I played for I think more than 1,000 people. What is 1,000 even? I was playing for at least 150 people a day, because I had a team of guys that trained, and we were playing together, trying to use some of those techniques and seeing how we could help them. Now, when people played, a lot of people got disappointed, and I can assure you that this year, not up to 50% of people that played last year will still play this year. Now, people always have this kind of, people are not patient in life. We have this kind of belief that whatever you are going in for, you just need to have it now and today. They are not patient. Now, only the patient people always have a way of getting opportunities in their life, because the number of people that played last year, it is going to drop this year drastically. Of course, you are supposed to instead keep on, like, try to better yourself every day. Look at the failures. Why did I fail in the past? Why did I not win last year? And what are the things that I can actually do this year to be able to make my year better than it was last year? People who succeed in life are not people who have not failed, but there are people who have failed severally, and that is why they succeed. You know, if you fail, you already know the value of failure. You keep on evaluating yourself to even understand why you have failed in the first place. And I want to assure you that if you can succeed in a domain, you must have failed in that particular domain severally. So if you haven't, like, tried to keep on persevering, correcting yourself, looking at your errors, and then asking yourself questions like, why did I fail yesterday? And of course, what can I do today to be better than what I did yesterday? That's when you succeed. So USDV lottery, guys, is not just something that you just wake up today, you play, and then you win. So you have to understand that there are things that you need to sacrifice. It's the only legit way to enter America if you don't have a relative that can file for you. Maybe in the course of this video, if I have the opportunity, I can also talk about other immigration pathways that you can use to enter the United States without the DV lottery. But of course, I want to concentrate more on the lottery. So if you have any question in the course of this video, always feel free to ask me, because I'm here and I'm very much ready, available, and equipped to answer all questions that you have as far as the DV lottery is concerned. Hi, Eugene Chindo. I send stars, you gain content, why gain nothing? Anyhow, let me know. These are not stars. Okay, you say I send stars. Let me bring this comment. You say I send stars, you gain content, why I gain nothing? Anyhow, let me just do the work of God. These are not stars. When we talk about stars, this is not stars. This thing that you send, they're not stars. Stars are, if you want to send me stars, of course, I don't get anything from Facebook. The money that I get from Facebook, I spend it back on Facebook anyway. If I gain 10,000 on Facebook, I spend 20,000 on Facebook. I don't gain anything. I just want to make you understand that. Yeah, Facebook, anything that I gain on Facebook, I give it double. I'm not on Facebook to make money. Yeah, I'm not on Facebook to make money. Maybe someday, somehow, I might make the money, but now my goal is not to make money. I don't see how much. I have a job, a full-time job. I have businesses that I do that they pay me money that Facebook cannot pay me right now. So when I get money on Facebook, I give it back on Facebook. If somebody comes and pays me for an advert, or I get money on stars or any monetization feature, I double the money and I give it back on Facebook. So I'm not here to make money. And just so you know, if you want to send me stars, these are not stars. Stars are things that the stars, you need to have your credit card. People who send stars, they have their credit card on Facebook. You buy stars with money. And then when you send those stars to me now, Facebook convert those stars into money and pay it to my bank account. So if you send these things that you just call stars, it's not stars. Thank you. All right. Let me share from Bamenda. Hazel, thanks for sharing. Junior says he's watching from Limbe. Okay, let me just scroll down most of the comments right down, because I have a lot of comments that I cannot go down one by one. So let me just go down. Yeah, so when you see us, like, we sacrifice so much on Facebook to update, it's not because we earn money on Facebook. I said the other day, I had a job. I know that, yes, I know that I benefit somehow on Facebook, but I want to let you understand that anything I have, I work for it. The job that I had on coaching, because I had a job on coaching that I was recruited by a company to work with them. I sit in my home and I coach people that I don't even know. Like, we talk on phone and I talk with them because this company came on social media and they saw my track record. But my main issue why I'm here is to update you, to make sure that I build a strong community, to make sure that I have followers who are progressing, to make sure that I transfer what I have free of charge to my followers, to make sure that the opportunities that I have, because the world has a lot of opportunities, but the selfish people are more than the opportunities. People have opportunities that they can share with others. The reason why they don't share is because they don't want other people to progress. They only want to be the most successful people, and that's why people don't share. But I'm not like that. I'm here because I want to update and educate my audience. So that is the top. Right, let's talk about the DV lottery, guys. I don't really need to, I think there are a lot of comments here that I will not be able to go through, but if you are coming in, it will be so honorable for me to know you and to get to know where you're joining from. Okay, good evening, blessings. Boris, the net was really poor here, but I will keep trying. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's keep pushing. I'm sure that the needle will get better. We have Antonin Bomb, Gideon. Thanks for joining. Larissa, how are you doing today? Eric is following from Bamenda. How is Bamenda today, Eric? Hi, Chef Susie. Thanks for joining the live broadcast. So, guys, the DV lottery started. It was relaunched again, and people have started submitting their entries for the 2025 session. The 2025 DV lottery session shows that you are going to play, but you will enter the US in 2025 if you win the lottery. And playing the DV lottery does not mean that, or winning the DV lottery does not mean that you'll be allowed to enter the US. The DV lottery is just something that gives you the opportunity to apply for a US immigrant visa. Applying for a US immigrant visa means that you are not coming into the US as a non-immigrant. There are two types of immigration. There are two types of immigration. We have what we call, or two types of immigrants. We have what we call immigrants, and we have what we call non-immigrants. Non-immigrants are people who come to the US maybe just to visit. You can come here because you have an invitation or because you have a conference that you want to attend. But under this type of immigration, you cannot remain in the US for a long period of time. Hey, my brother John Paul, thanks for joining, bro. It's been a long time. Happy to see you again. So if you come here, you will stay in the US for a particular period of time. Sometimes it is 6 months, sometimes it is 1 year, multiple entry, and then you go back. With the DV lottery, it means that the US government is giving you the opportunity to come into the US and stay here forever, like for as forever as you want. You come here with your green card at once, and with the green card, you can be able to stay for a period of time, let's say 5 years, and then become a US citizen if you come in with the US through the US DV lottery. I did say that I was going to talk about some other ways, methods that you can use to come into the US if time permits me. I'm talking about methods like, because you can actually come here using the employment visa. If you have someone who has a company who can show proof of about $500,000 in their account, they can be able to bring you in. Or maybe you have a relative who is a US citizen, or a direct relative who is a green card holder. They can also bring you in. Or sometimes you can come in as a refugee. You can come in as an asylee to be able to join. Hey, thank you so much, Chicho, the publicist. Thank you, sir, for joining the broadcast. So those are some of the ways that you can be able to come in. So we are talking about coming in as through the DV lottery program, because that is the easiest way that you can come in right now. If you don't have any relative in the US, or you don't have anybody who can file in for you, or you don't want to go through the Mexican road or all the roads that other people are using. Now the question is, what are the chances that you can actually have to move into the US through the DV lottery program, especially this year that people are not coming in? The first point that you need to note is that, first, a lot of people have given up. US usually select people based on your region, because when they're launching, the first way that you are supposed to qualify is if you come from a place where they don't have up to 50,000 people who have left that area to the United States. You see that countries like Nigeria do not actually qualify for DV lottery program because they already have a lot of people who migrated into the United States of America. Now, Cameroon still has that chance to send in people to the US. First, the processing center, which is at Kentucky, which takes care of the DV lottery program, selects based on the number of people that applied that year. Let's say last year we have a lot of people that applied from Cameroon, because they have millions of people that actually sent in their applications from Cameroon alone. But at the end of the day, only about 3,000 people were selected. And these 3,000 people were selected randomly, like they say, because the machines are selecting people randomly. But when they say machines are selecting people randomly, people usually ask, like, what is the technique that the machine is using to select people randomly? The machines have a technology. These machines that select people randomly have a technology that has been trained to determine which kind of application that they should be able to select. That is the reason why when you see people, there is a particular center where people play and they win every year. And there are some particular centers where people play and nobody will ever win. That's why when we played last year, we had 11 people, for 11 of our followers that were selected to come in. We could not, disclose their identity, because it is like I usually tell people, when you have good news, keep it for yourself first. You can disclose your identity on the day that you are at the airport traveling, or when you arrive the United States of America, whatever country that you are going to, we can post it. So the people that won, because we had a WhatsApp group that we actually created last year, trying to educate them, to let people understand the do's and the don'ts, and trying to bring them up. So people that won, we could not post anything about people that won the DV lottery, but we have them. We have 11 people. There are people. I have people that played in other centers. They came to me for help. Like they want to have a way to settle here or to have somebody to receive them, but those are different. But the other people that we personally played and they won, we had 11 people that won, 11 of our followers. Just imagine, I asked myself if I can be able to have just 11 followers every year, or just 10 people from my following migrate to the United States where they can be able to make a living. That's great news. So even just one person, if we can transform just one person, we are able to transform a lot of lives. And I said that, okay, coming here to always do this live video is not actually a waste of time for me, because I know that while doing it, we have people who are benefiting. We have people whose lives are being transformed. We have people who are attaining their dreams. It is not like you can only attain your dream in America, or you can only attain your dream in abroad, but people can also attain their dreams. You can achieve your dreams in Cameroon or wherever you want to achieve them. But now, if your dream is America and we are able to make you achieve that dream, that's okay. We should be able to celebrate that. That's a milestone. I'm not saying that you can only achieve your dream if you travel to the US, if you go to Canada, if you go to Europe, Dubai, or any other country of the world. But what I'm saying is that we should be able to make sure that we follow up people to achieve their dreams and get to the countries that they want to go to. So now, what are the chances passing through or winning the DV lottery? I told you guys, I sent a link. I sent a link to follow that link. I know that a lot of people will still have to go on paying money for people to register them, paying money for people to play DV lottery for them. And these are things that we could actually do. I want to tell you that I can be able to tell you some of those secrets, some of those things that you can do to stand a higher chance of winning the DV lottery. Not that I'm not saying that you will win, but I'm not saying that there is any other way that you can do, like to say that no, I must win this year, or to have confidence that I'm winning 100%. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that you have chances that you can make yourself outstanding when it comes to winning the DV lottery. The first thing I'm going to talk about this evening, which I talked about last year, is the picture that you are using to play the DV lottery. Now, first, the dressing that you use to take your picture matters. That's number one. The background that you use to take your picture matters. That's number two. The camera that you use to take your pictures matters. That's number three. The position that you put yourself before taking that picture matters. The machine that is going to be selecting their entry when it comes to DV lottery this 2025, like in any other year, that machine has a technology that has been trained to dictate all these things that I'm talking about. All these things, like, they are being done at the Kentucky Visa Center, or the Consular Center here. And first, your background, like we said, is supposed to be white. That is the first thing you know. But is it any kind of a white background? I asked people last year to send me pictures. People would just go to the wall, pin any background, like any dress, take it, and then send to me, like they call it a white background. There are some people that you go to certain places, they will take a picture, edit the background, they will remove the background, edit it, and then put a white background and give it. That is already a no, it's a red flag, a no-no. You are not supposed to edit that picture. It is supposed to be as natural as possible. No editing, no makeup or nothing, either on your side or on the photographer's side. So if you are supposed to submit your entry this year and you want to stand a chance to win, you should be able to work on that picture. Now, that picture has a size. It has a recommended size that the US government recommends. And if it is anything less or more of that size, then you are not able to win. There is a website. I'm going to put a link to that website when I'm done with this live video. I'll put it at the comment section where you can actually click that website. If they give you a picture, you click the website, submit your picture, and then it will automatically tell you if the picture is rejected or not. Many of us who play the lottery do not even reach the selection stage, because there is a final selection stage that people reach where the machine actually get to randomly select people before the machine reaches an area where it randomly selects people, there is an area where it rejects people. So a lot of people who play, you don't even stand a chance to play. You might have submitted your entry for the DV lottery for the last 5 years, but you have never played DV lottery. There is a difference between submitting your entry and then playing the lottery itself. When you submit your entry, sometimes, because this thing is always being done in May, but sometimes around March, the machine usually, now they're submitting our entries. Those entries started from October 4th, and they're going to run till, I think, November 7th. After submitting these entries, the machine will work on it, and by March, I don't know if it's March 7 this year, I'll verify. The machine will actually go through a pre-selection process where they will select those applications that are not even qualified in the first place. And when they select this application, they will reject them. And after rejecting the applications, they will now go to the selection process where the machine will actually select people who are eligible to play the DV lottery. That is where you can even talk of your luck, because that's where luck works. That's why I said that, yeah, doing everything does not actually mean that you must win, but it is just like increasing your chances of being able to be selected for the DV lottery this year. Hey guys, send me stars. I need stars. I don't need those. When I'm talking about stars, I don't mean those fake stars. Send me stars. Stars, not the other kind of stars. So the machine will select you and then put your entry in, put you in now for the selection process. Now let's go back to the picture. You are not supposed to put in like eyeglasses when you are taking your picture. You're not supposed to put in something to cover your hair, except you are a Muslim. If you're a Muslim, yeah, you can cover your ears and everything. But if you're not a Muslim, because in your entry you indicate your race, and they will know if you are a Christian or a Muslim. You indicate everything there, your religion. Sorry. Now, still during this entry, your picture, like I said, the position of your ears, a lot of photographers don't actually care. Last year I spent money. Yeah, I spent money. There was an app that I had. I purchased that app just to work on it, because if you sent me your picture and it did not work, I just forwarded it back to you to let you know that it could not work, because I need to put your picture into this app. The app will process the picture and tell me if this picture is accepted or not. You don't just take a picture. More than 80% of photographers that you will meet will take you pictures that are not even eligible in the first place and get you to submit. So the position of your ears, and then the way you appear in the picture, the brightness of the picture. Don't use itel phone. Don't use. I'm not. I'm not laughing at people who are using itel phones. I'm just taking for example, because there are even Samsung phones or iPhones that will not take you good pictures. If you know that your phone, this is an opportunity. You know how much people that, if your dream is to come to the US, you don't need to joke about it. You don't need to go on, take any kind of pick a camera, screenshot a picture, and then you send that they should play DV lottery for you. When you submit the entry, it will go. The problem is that the machine will reject it when it is time. So if you want me to help you, or you want any other person to help you, and you want to get a picture, get a good picture. Spend your time, spend your money, and then go on. You can even go to a photographer and then ask them to get you a good picture that you can be able to send to the person helping you. Somebody said I need I need the name of the app, sir. Yeah, I will send the name of the app, but the app is actually expensive. It's expensive. I registered this app because if you are doing it, it's not like for business, you actually waste money. I will send it after this live show. I've forgotten the app I was using. Let me see if I can get in my phone here, because I don't know if I still have that. That app was something like, let me see, because I don't give you, I might forget. Okay, you can go to ID photo. You can go to US ID photo. You will get that. Just go to Google, you type US ID photo, you'll get it. I think I paid about $260 to get that app. $260 is about more than 100, almost 150,000 francs Cameroon money to pay for that app to get it. So I know that if you are not really doing it for business or helping people, you are doing it. If you want to use the loan, it will actually cost you a lot of money. So that's the point. So you can get the app in your phone and then you do it yourself, but you snap the picture and get it processed for you. So picture is the very first important one. If you have any other question about picture, I can answer. But now let me go to the next point. The address that you are using to play your DV lottery also matters a lot. Some of those things that you put as your address, because there are things that when you are submitting that form, they ask you for the address that you are going to use. They ask you for a lot of information. But whenever you are playing the lottery, always make sure that you have that opportunity, or that there's a space where you can put, they can ask you for an emergency number, or they can ask you for some kind of information. If you have someone that you can put in that place that is living, America does not want people that can be as a burden to their country. America always wants to make sure that you are coming to their country, you have a place where you will sleep, you have people that can be able to support you, you have people that can take care of you. So immediately you start showing that interest, that you have people that can help you. Immediately you start showing that interest, that you have people in the United States that can stand for you. The country knows that you will not be public, you will not be a public charge. In 2020, Donald Trump came up with a policy. They call it public charge. Public charge means that before you migrate to the US to live like an immigrant, or to live like with the green card, you need to prove, the person who is inviting you will have to prove that they're earning a certain amount of money each year, and that this money is able to take care of the family and also to take care of you that is coming in. This is because the US government finally discovered that a lot of people who come into the country, they tend to depend more on the government. The government actually spend a lot of money on you, like on health, feeding, what we call food stamps, education, and taking care of you. Now, so that is the pain. That is why you see them trying to limit that entry, to limit people from coming into the states. So when you are playing the DV lottery and they realize that you have those kind of connections, you have ties in the US, it is also an opportunity for you to be able to migrate. Now, family. Someone asked me a question about the family, that can you be able to, like, people who get married or have kids, do they have like, are they having chances to win the DV lottery more than people who do not have kids? The answer is yes and no. Yes, in the sense that you can submit as the husband, then your wife will still submit as the wife. You people can, a family or a couple can submit two entries. You can play, there's what we call primary entrant, and there is what we call a beneficiary. A primary entrant is that person who is submitting for the family, and the beneficiary is the person who is coming under the primary entrant. Now, if you have a husband and your husband plays the DV lottery, and the husband will normally submit you under him as the beneficiary. So in this case, your husband is the primary entrant. If your husband, this actually means that if your husband wins, the people, or the embassy will now go to the application and look at the people that your husband submitted as the beneficiaries, and means that these people will now have the opportunity to migrate with the husband to the United States and have the opportunity of also having the green card. You came under your husband as a beneficiary. Despite the fact that your husband has put you as a beneficiary, you can still play again as a primary entrant and also put your husband as a beneficiary. Now, you people, two of you have played. In this case, the US government will not penalize you. Let me tell you something. Never try to play twice, because if you play as a primary entrant twice, the machine already disqualifies you. That machine has a technology that disqualifies people who play twice. There is nothing that you can do that you. These are machines that are well trained. These are machines that act like people, more than the machines that are more intelligent than people. I once talked to, I called it, like, when it comes to the United States, USCIS has one of the most sophisticated artificial intelligence, where you can call USCIS, and the USCIS means United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. You can call this department and you end up talking with the machine till the end of time, and your problem will be resolved. You will not talk with somebody, like, you talk with the machine. The machine asks you questions, you answer. the machine gives you a response to what you need, and the machine itself will solve your problem. It tells you how sophisticated the artificial intelligence is, which means that this machine is able to do what they have asked the machine to do. The machine has information that has to be imputed into it, and the machine acts as demanded. So you should be able to know that those machines have a technology that will work better for you. Okay, somebody's asked, is there a question? So more enlightenment on that emergency number being like, should we put numbers of someone who is already in the US? Or yes, if you have a number, if you have someone who is in the US, you can always put the person's contact. There's always an address that you can put, but it's not like if you don't put someone in the US, you cannot win or all that. It is just giving you more chances. Those are things that the machine is trained to indicate, to dictate. So machines dictate anything that is related to the United States. In your application, anything that will relate to the United States, the machine will dictate. And these are things that makes you far better than any other person who do not have those things. Now, there are people who are winning, a lot of people who win without even putting anything that is related to the US, but we are just making you to understand that with the artificial intelligence, you can have more chances coming in as far as that is concerned. Another person says, so yes, if we have anyone in the US, we should indicate the person's address on the entry form. Does this mean that the machine doing the random selection studies all entry files, or someone does the selection and not a machine? It is the machine, not someone. That machine is more intelligent than any other person that you can ever imagine on planet Earth. That machine has been trained. Everything that they need the machine has been trained. Remember that this is the only job that the machine is doing. The machine that they are trained, the machine does not have two jobs. The only job is to select those who are eligible to come into the United States, and this is what the machine does. Like if you have a criminal history, the machine already starts indicating. Those are things that you should know. So that's what I was just trying to talk about. Chris says that, Mr. Chris, what of the case of a single mom? Yes, of course, as a single mom, you can play once, but you indicate your kids, put your kids under. People will tell you that there's a lot of fake news out there. There are people who are saying things that they don't know. People will tell you that no, if you play with your kids, they will tell you that they will not allow you to win. Like I have people, for instance, there are people that came to the US to seek asylum, right? And when they reach the borders, they ask them at the borders whether they have a family. They said no. The reason why they asked them, they said that they don't have a family because someone told them that if you tell the US government that you have a family, they will refuse you from entering the US. Now, these people came to the US, said that they didn't have a family. And when they finally won without having a family, when they said that they didn't have a family, there was no way for them to bring in their family. If you are a single mom or you have kids or whatsoever and you want to play the DV lottery, if you indicate in the DV lottery form that you don't have a kid, then you don't have a kid for your entire life. You will never. Those kids are no longer yours. And if even you win the DV lottery and bring those kids, you will be disqualified. Now, there is never a way that those children will be allowed to enter the US. People are being deceived to say that, no, I don't have children. The only way that you can bring these children under the US is maybe sometime if you get your husband to come in and you pretend now that your husband will be the one to bring in those children under him. But you can never bring those children under you because you once said that you did not have children. So if you want to fill in the form, don't tell lies on that form, because if you tell lies, those lies will haunt you throughout your entire stay in the US. There is no way. I have people who have won DV lottery, they have children in Africa. They're not able to bring these children because they once told the government that they did not have children. And now that you are trying to bring them children, you are not able to bring your children in. Okay, so how do I send stars? Just send stars by, first of all, registering your credit card on Facebook. When you register your credit card on Facebook, you should be able to send stars because you have to buy those stars. If you have your credit card registered on Facebook, there's not a way you can buy stars. Do the kids need pictures to Mr. Chris? Yes. Now, this is it. Sometimes the picture of any picture that is submitted under your entry matters a lot. If you are a primary entry, you have a good picture, and the people who are coming under you do not have good pictures, that is your organ. There is no way. Even a child of 1 month need a picture. Even a child of 1 month need a picture. There is a child protection law, however, in the US that if you play the DV lottery and your child was like really small and the child did not have a picture, even if you did not register the child, but you just indicated that you had the child, when you win the DV lottery, for as long as the child is still at a certain age, you can be allowed to come in with the child. And a child normally under the US law is some like any person that is allowed to qualify under the immigration policy, the person must be below 21 years. If your child is already above 21 years, the person will not be allowed to migrate with you into the US. However, if you submit your entry today, today is I think the 8th of October. For example, if you have a child that is 80, that is 20 years, you submitted your entry today on the 8th of October, and the child's birthday is the 9th of October. Maybe tomorrow the child becomes 21 years. That is not your problem. They are looking at the date you submitted your entry. If you submitted your entry when the child was 20 years, even if the child becomes 21 years after the day you submitted your entry, the child is still being regarded as a minor who is 21 years. But you have to go through a certain process, and this is under the child protection law. There is a law that protects children who increase in age after their forms have been filed with the US Immigration Services. Okay, so let's go. Do the kids need picture? And then all pictures should be the same. All the pictures, they should be clean. They should fall under all they should have all the characteristics that I just named at the beginning of this live video. Like the ears should be showing, all your 2 ears should be showing. Your eyes should be facing the camera directly. Your face should be well kept. And then you should not cover your hair if you are not a Muslim. Don't put on eyeglasses, don't do makeup, and don't wear sophisticated dresses. This is the secret. Don't wear sophisticated dresses when you are taking your picture. Look for a very simple dress, as simple as possible when you are taking your DV lottery. Don't go and you feel that some people want to go and maybe do their hairs and all those things before they take a picture. No, those are not things that you should be doing. They're not necessary. But and then it's just that they're not necessary, but you can do it. But as for sophisticated dresses, don't even do it, because those are things that will ruin your chances of winning the lottery. They say I have some mixed feelings about this, and I am tempted to believe that the selection is done by people sitting behind computers. Yeah. Yes, Eric says that it's now how many people can the computers I mean, how many people can you select? Let me tell you, let me bust your brain, Eric. The whole world plays DV lottery. Like 7 continents in the world, seven continents play DV lottery. We have 7 continents in the world, right? They play DV lottery from all these continents. When I say 7 continents, I mean it including America, the United States of America, where they are playing the DV lottery to come there. Even people in the US play DV lottery, which tells you how many millions of people play DV lottery a year. There are years that we have people play up to 16 million people that play DV lottery. In Europe, last year, more than 4 million people played DV lottery to come to the United States. In Europe, where everybody's fighting to go to Europe, millions of people are playing DV lottery to go to America. In Africa, I don't even want to talk about that because you already know. Now, in the US, people who are living in the US who don't have documents, maybe who came into the US as non-immigrants, or maybe who came in to ask for asylum, or people who are just here like they're looking for a way to have their papers, they play DV lottery. There is never a way that the machine can select. It's not that they don't want to select. People really want to select it, but where will you start? The people cannot select it. So this thing is being done by a machine that is well trained, because if people are selecting it, it will be ineffective. And the US is that kind of a country where laws are respected to the fullest. There are procedures. In this country, it is not like Cameroon or other countries in Africa where you don't know things about people. If you want to know anything about anybody in this country, you will know it. You want to know somebody's immigration status, it's so easy to know it. You want to know how much somebody's earning a year, you know it. You want to know where somebody, everything is so transparent. That is why when it comes to even the selection of the DV lottery, they make it as transparent as possible, and people who are selecting it are being governed by the law. You see, even the United States President Biden do not have powers to decide who should win the DV lottery or not. The United States President do not have powers. Even the person who is in charge of the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services do not have power to decide who comes into the U.S. or not. Nobody in this country, if you are following a visa, for instance, and somebody tells you that, no, I have connection at the U.S. Embassy that I will be able to make sure, there is no agent. If you are working with an agent who is telling you that I have a connection to come to the US, nobody has a connection. Like, I can say this point blank, like you can quote me anywhere. The US has a law that is so strict when it comes to immigration. And this country, when we talk about immigration is what holds the US, because everybody in the world is wanting to migrate to the US. People play the DV lottery from Canada to come to the US. People play DV lottery from France, Britain. People play DV lottery from Germany, Belgium. People play DV lottery from America to come to the same America. While I'm saying that people play DV lottery from the same America to come to America, is because being in America, living in America is one thing, and being in America is another thing. There are people who are living in America, but they are not in America. Because for you to be in America is to be able to must have had those documents. If you don't have your green card, if you don't have your citizenship, you are just passing through America. You are not in America, because they can get up any day and they ask you to go, and you go. You don't have a choice. And that's why people are using this legal pathway to come to the US, using the US DV lottery or any other means that can help them. The US government somehow has given opportunities for people to come into the US, settle permanently through family, like you're filing a form. Someone is filing a form for you to come in if the person is a green card holder, or the person is a US US citizen, or if the person is an asylee or a refugee that is living in the US, or the person has that status that can allow them to file. So in that case, you come in the same way as someone who has won the DV lottery. The reason why the US came up with the DV lottery program in the first place is that they realized that the US is a vast country. It is a country with about with so many states, and it has a way of bringing people. We said that America is nobody's country, and so they are looking at the way to fill in the country with a lot of people, and to fill with this country with people, they also need different cultures. They want people who come with cultures, like people from France. They want people from Arab countries. They want people from Canada. They want Africans. They want people, a conglomerate of people from different countries or different continents, where they can come in and enrich the US culture. Because of this reason, that is why they came in with the US DV lottery. Because if they didn't come in with the US DV lottery, only people who are in the US, or who have acquired the status, or who have acquired citizenship, or who have acquired the green card, will actually have the opportunity to bring in people or their family members who can come and effectively live in the United States. So for this reason, they came up with the DV lottery. If you are thinking that there is someone somewhere who has a certain connection that can make you win the lottery, or who has a certain connection somewhere that can make you to migrate in the US, anyway, there is no other person. Somebody can, we can help facilitate. Like, for example, if you have a family member who has filed in an application for you in the US, which means that you are eligible, and it is taking time more than expected, that is when I consider, yes, I can be able to help you. I can be able to step in and help you in that case, to say that, well, I have a way that we can expedite this case for you. Expedite just means that you are telling the US immigration that, okay, no, this application has stayed for so long, and this person is going through this so and so trouble, which I believe that the person is supposed to have come into the country by this time. That is one good thing about the country. You don't need to be someone who is connected somewhere. You don't need to be someone who has power somewhere to be able to make the government to act. You just need to quote the laws. You need to know the laws of the country, how the laws work. You just take the laws and quote to them. It's just like the Bible, right? People say that when you take the Bible and quote it back to God, God respects his word, because that is his word. Like, if you tell God that, Father, in the book of they say Matthew 7:7, you say that ask and it shall be given, knock and the door that you are knocking shall be opened unto me. Today I'm knocking at this door, Father, open it to me. Today I'm asking this, give it unto me. God will open the door. The US immigration system is in that way, that if you tell the US immigration that, okay, you have stated that the laws of the U.S. immigration states that if I file a form I-130, which is an application to a petition an immigrant, a immediate relative or a family member of mine to come into the U.S. and meet me, the processing time is 6 months. Is 6 months. But since I filed this application, it has been more than 6 months that you have not made a decision on my case. I want you to act on this form. They will act on it. That is the only reason I say that if you have you have someone who has filed in your application, the application is taking so long, or maybe you want to immigrate and it's wasting time, you feel that we can act on it. That in that case, you can reach out to me and I'll be able to help you on that because I've quite studied the US immigration laws and I know how it functions when it comes to filing some of those petitions. So it's very easy to be able to help you. And even if you are for asylum, but nobody should deceive you that they can get you a visa to come to the US. Eric, still you again. Okay. You say I've been playing the DV lottery for over 7 years, yet I have never been selected even by error. Yes, there are people who have played for 10 years and the 10th year. There are people who have played for 4 years, the 5th year. There are people, it's just like now, what I said is that you should ask yourself, meanwhile, it is not like it's not like correcting those errors will mean that you're actually going to win, but it's going to give you higher chances. Ask yourself, what did I do last year that I did not do? And this is the reason why I'm having this conversation here, because I want you to be able to identify some of those errors that you have been committing over the years so that you can eliminate them. The machine clears out the data every year. If you played last year, this year, the machine doesn't even show that you played last year. It doesn't even look at that data. It's very important. The machine clears it out. But it is up to you to ask yourself to try to realize some of those things that you have been doing over the years that have been stopping you from winning the lottery. And meanwhile, the things must not make you to win, but they will increase your chances of winning, which means that you might have the chance to be selected. So that is the question. My doubts have been clarified. I'm grateful. Oh, sure. So happy to hear that your doubts have been clarified. Okay. Another good question here. Can I play it with first school living certificate? Okay, this is an issue I had last year. A lot of people reach out. When you go to the cyber cafe to play, they tell you that no, you can play with their first school living certificate, you can play with anything. Those people, it's just like they just want money now. The machine has also been trained to immediately identify and root out people who have not attained 12 years of education. 12 years of education in the US means that you must, because in US we have 12 grades. We have grade 1 to grade 5, which is what we call elementary school. Now, after elementary school, you have 3 years in the high school, or let's say from elementary school, you have 3 years if you go to middle school, not high school, sorry. And then in middle school, you have grade 6 to grade 8. That's grade 6, grade 7, and grade 8, which is the middle school. That's already 3 years of education. Now, in middle school, after middle school, you have another you have 4 years in the high school, which is grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12. That's 12 years of education. Now, with the US DV lottery talking about 12 years education qualification criteria, it means that you must have been able to attend school for 12 years and have that certificate, the advanced level. In this country, it's not like, that people don't repeat here. Yes, students go to school, they just keep on promoting them to different classes. The only class here where you can be able to repeat somehow, which is still very difficult, is the 9th grade. People don't repeat in grade 1. You don't repeat no matter whatever you do. They push you grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8. You don't repeat. You only repeat school somehow, which is rare when you get to grade 9. Kindergarten, you don't repeat, because kindergarten actually is that grade that you have to go before you even go to grade 1. So for all your years in the US, you don't repeat a class. They don't repeat. They teach people, they put students, they teach them. And you see, as for us, we call students peoples, but in US, everybody is a student. Even in kindergarten, is a student. and you go from one class to the other without repeating. So that's why they talk about the 12 years education criteria. So if you are having only first school leaving certificate, there are other ways that you can be able to play. But I don't want us to go down this route because 99% of Africans don't qualify. We talk about a vocation that you must have been able to acquire a certain vocation. And this vocation is something that you must have gone to school to get it. It's not like you go to a tailoring workshop, learn tailoring, you say that I'm a tailor, or maybe you have learned salon, you say I'm a hairdresser because you went to a certain workshop and learned it. No, you must have been able to go to a certain school. Now, it also depends the vocations that we are talking about. I have a list of those vocations that the government is talking about, and those are vocations that are validated by the Ministry of Labor in the United States of America, which means that these are things that the US needs you to have them. So to be on the safe side, it is good to have your advanced level. Now, let's say you want to play this year. We are in 2023 and they'll be writing GCE in June 2024, but these people are supposed to be traveling in 2025. But right now, if you don't have advanced level, no problem. You can play the DV lottery, but be sure that you will have it before 2024. Because before 2025, because if you don't have it before 2025, you will be disqualified. It doesn't matter whenever you had the advanced level, it does not matter, but you should have it before the day that you are traveling. Because if you play it without having it, they don't care. They don't ask you to submit any document where you are playing. It is only when you are feeling you are from DS260 that they will need those things. From DS260 is that form that you will fill in when you are submitting your documents to the Kentucky National or Consular Center here in the US. So you have to be able to be mindful of that. Even talking about marriage certificate, you can state that you are married without a marriage certificate. That is okay. But just know that before you are traveling, you should be able to present that marriage certificate. It is better to state in your application that you are married and end up not getting married than to state that you are not married and then you end up getting married after the lottery or after you win the lottery. There are also other chances that you can be able to travel if you can bring in your husband. If you initially stated in your application that you were not married, but along the line you got married, but you should only be sure that in order for you not to cause complications, you should get married before your DV lottery. There is this thing that the US immigration they call it intent, like an intent. You have an intention to come into the US, or like you want to use the US government, you want to play tricks on the US government to come into the country. So if you finally play the lottery and you stated in your application that you were not married and then you ended up getting married, you will like you getting married to someone immediately after winning the DV lottery, the US government will feel that you are stating that you are saying that you want to. It depends on her number. So that you would if you you win the DV lottery, you do not state in your application that you were married, and immediately you win the lottery, you get married. They will feel that the person who is getting married to you is just because the person wants to use you to come into the US, or that people are playing some kind of business. You know that most of us are business people now. Yeah, it looks like it shows that some of you are business person. Oh, somebody sent me stars. I did not even see that. Send stars. Somebody sent me original stars, like the stars I'm talking about. I did not see that. I'm just seeing the stars now. Maybe when I go through the end of this video, I'll be able to see the person that sent me the stars. Anyway, to whosoever sent my stars, I mean my original stars, thank you so much for sending the stars. It helps a lot, helps motivate me to be able to create more content and also to do this work that I'm doing. All right. Another question is it advisable to snap with branded clothes like a dress which may have Louis Vuitton at the collar? It is not advisable. Honestly, I tell you, it is not good to snap with sophisticated dresses. Like I said, of course, you can snap it, but I will not advise you to take any chances when you are taking your picture. I know what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So don't take that chances of snapping with so much sophisticated dresses. That machine that I'm talking about, the machine has been trained to dictate all of those things. Last year, you assisted us in playing the developer. Will you support us again this time? Yeah, I know that I supported it last year. I don't know about. I'm going to support this year, same as I did last year, but it's just that I'm not really much available as I did last year. I'm somehow available this year. I'm going to be selecting people on a case by case basis because last year was just like it was so random. I was just picking up a lot of people and then helping them selecting. I also trained people who were helping me to do to play because I had this app that I was using to help people. And among the people that won that we played, I know that I did not only play alone. Most of the people that I trained, some of the people that won, they also helped them in playing. Of course, it will be a great joy. Next year, it's like we just want to. It's just that we are not going to be receiving all of them in one place. It's not easy because we don't have. We are looking. We look for people. What we do is we look for help for you. If you win the DV lottery, if we played for you and you won, we look for help. We look for a state with somebody who can be able to receive you. I cannot be able to receive everybody. It's not easy, even to receive a few people. I already have a lot of people that I received that I'm helping, a lot of people that are still trying to stand. So it's not easy to be receiving people all the time. But if we played for you and you finally ended up winning, we try a way to get help, to get someone who can receive you. Because one thing that see, when you win the DV lottery, you have stages to go through. It is not just about winning the DV lottery and walking into the US. First, you need to be able to prove that what you wrote in your application was true about you. That is the first thing. To prove, you need to prove your education, that you have the 12 years of education, which means advanced level. If you said that you were married, you need to prove that you are married. If you said that you had kids, you need to prove that you had those kids. That is the very first stage to show that, of course, you are who you say you are. The second thing is to prove your criminal record. Some years ago, I don't know which year was that, in Europe, in New York City. It's just about, I think it's 3 years ago. It's not even been long. When Trump was in, no, it's more than 3 years. When Trump was in power, one guy who won the US DV lottery came into the United States, took a bus in New York, ran into the street and killed a lot of people. That is when the US government started emphasizing more on criminal records. So when you win the DV lottery, there is still a background check that is run. They need to get your criminal record again to see that you don't have any criminal history in the countries that you have lived for the last 5 years. That is why in the form they will ask you, where have you lived for the last 5 years and what you have been working, to be able to track your criminal history. This is just to know that you don't have any criminal records. That's just number 2. The first one, I talked about you proving that you are who you are. That is you are proving your identity. The second one, your criminal record. The third one, which is to prove that you are physically fit, that you don't have a sickness, that if you come into the US, you can transmit it to people. When I'm talking about sickness, I'm talking about things like hepatitis B. I'm talking about things like COVID, because now they do COVID tests too. They're talking about this thing, chicken pox. They're talking about, they call it MMI. There are sicknesses that they check, and that's why they usually send you to the US physician to check you, to make sure you don't have any of those diseases. But don't fear too much about diseases, because even if you have them, there is a way. So if you have any of those diseases, you can reach out to me. I know people who can be able to help you if you have a disease. If you have been disqualified to enter the US just because you have a particular disease, I have people who can help you to go through that, because it's not your fault to be sick, of course. The country is just trying to be protective, to make sure that they don't spread sicknesses to people. But there is an organization, there is an NGO I know that has helped some people. I've brought people to them that have helped. Because if you have an illness like the hepatitis B, you have the chicken pox, you have the MMI, you have HIV is not among, you have like I think there are so many of them. Yeah, just like if you have any of them, there is a way that you can be able to come into the US. We can get that done for you. So you can contact me behind the scene and I'll get that done for you. So that's another way. Now, if you must have successfully passed through these stages, then you are free to travel to the US. But you are not yet in the US because there is still a stage that you need to go through. There is what we call CBP in the US. That's what they call Custom and Border Patrol. Customs and Border Patrol decides or determines who to enter the country. I want to share the story here. I traveled to Africa. I have a green. That I traveled to Africa with a green card, and when I was coming back to the US, I was intercepted at the border. Imagine me, who was coming into the US at that time. I had a green card, coming to the US with the green card, and was almost sent away with the green card. This is because the border patrol, they have things that they check at the borders when you are coming to the US. You can travel all the way with all your documents and everything and reach the US borders and be sent back to your country just because there is something that you did wrong. The reason why I was almost sent back was because when I came to the borders, I had documents that someone asked me to help him and bring those documents back to the US. And when I reached the borders, they checked my back and they saw those documents and they removed them and started scanning them and asked me, like, because they will check you. US borders and the Custom and Border Patrol check you to make sure that you are in compliance with the country's policies. Even though the embassy has given you a visa, it does not mean that you are actually in the US. There are chances that you can reach the borders and you'll be sent back. Even though I had a green card at that time and I came to the borders with my green card, which means I'm a US permanent resident, they could have still sent me back to my country, despite the fact that I had the green card. The only thing that you can come into the US at any time with any crime and maybe they will just detain you here and not send you back is when you have that citizenship. Because if you have a citizenship, you are not yet the US citizen, you can be sent back at any time. So they checked my documents, checked those things, and then took to the computer and scanned them. And when they scanned those documents, they realized that the person that I was bringing the documents was not living in the US illegally. Now, I want to tell you this: if you are planning to travel to the US and you are listening to me today, never make a mistake to take any person's document to bring to the US. Don't try that. If you want to take somebody's document to bring to the US, make sure that you are very much aware of the person's immigration status in the US. There is what they call in this country smuggling. If you smuggle somebody in the US, which means that if you bring in somebody to the US illegally, it means that you have smuggled the person into the US and the government will find you, they will lock you in prison, and then you have a good number of years to be in prison, and then they will send you back to your country and ban you from migrating to the US for the next 10 years because you smuggled someone into the US, which means that you brought someone into the US illegally. Now, bringing someone's documents into the US who is living in the US illegally means that you are smuggling that person into the US because you are trying a way to fake the US or to scam the US government. That is how they put it. For example, if someone came into the US because you might have family members, you might have friends who came into the US to seek asylum, and because you know that when people are traveling to seek asylum, they don't usually move with their documents. They leave their documents back in Africa, or maybe because they were rushing or for some reason or the other, they could not move with their documents. Now they finally came into the US and now you are traveling. They say, hey, bro, can you help me? There was my marriage certificate I left in my country, or maybe I left my birth certificate. I left this particular document or my certificate. Can you help me bring those documents? When you bring those documents and reach the borders, the US immigration will take those documents, scan them, and it will show the person. This country has a high, what we call artificial intelligence. When they type in that person's name in the computer, it will show all the person's immigration history in the US, and they will tell you that, okay, you are helping this person, because there are living in the US does not mean that you are here illegally. There are people who are living here illegally, and immigration can send them out at any like they can knock your house at any time and tell you to take you to prison, and then before you know, they're taking you back to your country. Now, if you help these kind of people to bring in their documents to this country, and they finally discover you are caught, because it's easy that it's not so easy to be caught if you are not being checked thoroughly. But if you are finally being checked and caught, you will be sent back to your country alongside this person. It will mean that you guys are accomplices. So always make sure that you are knowing what you are doing. It pains me when you win the lottery, you come in here after all you have gone through, people have been playing for years, and you get deported. And as I tell you, people are being deported, people are being sent back. It's just because you might not know, because you are not exposed to those things, because it's not your department. But for me, that I work so much with immigration cases, I work so much with people who come in with immigration stories. I have talked with a lot of people who get sent back to their countries because of these areas. Just recently, I had two Cameroonians who came through Mexico. When they came through Mexican road, and when they reached Mexico and they reached the U.S. borders, they were caught and then deported back to Cameroon. They spent millions of money to use and come to that road. People spent millions. I need not remind you how many millions people use, but it's because of ignorance. It's because of things that they do. They don't know. They just get up and then move and come. They feel that because you enter the US, you have already entered. No, you have not until you have the green card or until you are a citizen. I have never followed your live video and go back the same. God bless you, Daddy Chris. God bless you too, Sidoni. If we can't get a good camera, which phone can we best use to take good DV pictures? Beg someone with a good phone, any phone that has a good camera, iPhone, latest Samsungs. You can get someone with that, and then don't go and use any kind of. There is a way. If you don't have a good white background, look for a white wall. You must not only use a piece of cloth. If you don't have a good background, go to a white wall and then you snap it on a white wall. But know that if you snap a picture on a white wall, it needs to be shaped. In that case, I might be able to help you. But guys, I'm not really promising this year. Last year, I went through hell. I'm telling you, I made a commitment that it was not easy. Let me publicly confess. I want to confess to you guys publicly. I went through hell helping people to play the DV lottery. That's why you see me this year. I'm just so cool. I've not said that, no, I'm going to help this number of people to play, because I went through hell last year. So it was not easy. And with my job, with this online stuff, having to come live, being on Facebook, doing my side hustles and all those things, it was not easy. And more to that, this year, I'm not just working with the company I'm working with. I'm also having a coaching job that I'm doing. Like I told you, I'm a coach, and I work with a company just to coach. Sometimes when I have like I come back home, sign into my computer, that's the time that I'm taking calls from other people that I don't know to maybe talk with their problems. And that's something that is part of my job. So this year it is really, really tough for me to be able to handle all this at the same time. But I'm not promising you, but I might be able to help. If you get a picture, let's just talk to me and we see how we can be able to shape that picture for you to fit the size that is needed. But please, if you have the opportunity to do in a studio, that's good. Just do it. Yeah, just do it, and then we will see how we can be able to help you shape that. This lottery thing is really a lucky game or machine. Please select me or any of my family members. It is not actually. Well, you know that there is nothing in this life like just luck. It is not easy now. Luck, you know that you have, even for you to be lucky, you need to fight for it, right? You cannot just sit in your home and things will come and meet you. You need to go for it. Luck does not just meet people sleeping in their beds. I hope you know that. So if you want to be lucky, you need to go out there and chase the luck so that you will find luck. Because if you sit in your home, luck will not meet you there. That is what I always tell people. DV lottery, it might be luck, but what are you actually doing to be able to, for the luck to meet you? All right. Hi, Edwin, watching from Dubai. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so we know that it's luck, but you need to also understand that for you to get this luck, you need to fight, go out there, fight for it, and then you get it. All right, let's see what Tabitha I say. Good evening. So just wish to ask if you have a girlfriend that you are to get married to and play DV lottery with her name mentioned on the form, and it happened that won the lottery. Can't you let her do the marriage certificate, or you must play with her when you guys have a marriage certificate? No, if you have somebody that you intend to get married to, you can mention the person as your girlfriend, as your wife. There is no place for girlfriend. If you have somebody that you intend to, you know that you want to get, like I said, I think I talk about this. So just put in that you people are married, and then you can later make your marriage certificate. It doesn't matter. Just the fact that you indicated in that form that you are married, it has no issues. But know that that marriage certificate needs to be made or produced before you travel to the United States, before you'll be able to win. Please, I have a question. Is it possible if my husband played the DV lottery while we didn't have marriage certificate, and later on when the results were out before we did our marriage certificate, And is it possible that we can move to the United States of America together? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that you indicated that you were married. It shows that you had good intention, but you have to be able to be ready to explain to the consular officer why you didn't get married at that time. Understand that different countries have different cultures. You are coming from Cameroon, and Cameroon has a culture where you can actually call someone your wife without a marriage certificate. Now, based on your culture, the US recognizes cultures from different types of the world. Based on your culture, you can be able to explain to the US immigration officer or maybe to the consular officer who is doing your interview that, okay, look, the reason why I did not indicate, the reason why I indicated in our marriage, in the form that I'm married, is because I have been living with this man for so many years. We did our customary marriage. We are living with this and that, and I recognize him as my husband. And that is why I stated that we are married. Now, because the US only recognizes marriage based on civil marriage, that is why later, after winning my DV lottery, I had to go ahead and do my marriage certificate. This country does not complicate. It complicates if you don't want, you are not open enough to explain. It is only about, that's why we usually call it about, how do I call that letter again? That letter again, that letter again. I've forgotten how we usually call the letter we write. There's a letter that you write, words are failing me, but it's just a simple thing that it's running off my mind. There's a letter that you usually write to explain to them, and you let them to understand why you did what you did, because you stated you were married in your form that you were not married to that you were married to the person. Why, in essence, you don't have a marriage certificate together, but you have to state, you will let them understand that based on your customs and traditions, living with somebody for this particular period of time already makes the person your husband. So you have been living with this person for this number of years, and this person is your husband. But the reason why you have decided to make the marriage certificate after winning the DV lottery is because you want to fall in alignment with the US laws, which states that a marriage certificate or a civil status act needs to be there to legalize the marriage. It's just the same like having children, because you can actually play with different kinds of children. Under law, we have 4 different types of children that can be able to migrate with the US. We have what we call legitimate children, we have legitimated children, we have natural children, and we have adopted children. Legitimate children are children that you had together with your husband under like you were already married. You had a marriage certificate signed together with your husband before you had those children. Those are the children that we call legitimate children. It means that these children are protected by a civil status act. So you got married to your husband and then had those children. The law allows you to move with those children to the United States. The second type of children are legitimated children. Legitimated children are children that you had maybe out of wedlock. You had your husband, you guys were dating together, and then you finally got married to each other. But before you got married to each other to sign your marriage certificate, you had already had those children. They call them legitimated children. It means that the children have been legitimated. Legitimated just means that there is a civil status act that has been signed after that marriage that recognizes those children as your children. Like you got married to your husband, now you have a marriage certificate that was signed in court to show that now this person is officially my husband. But however, you guys had these children together before marriage. These children are legitimate. However, you will not be allowed to move with those children to the US unless you go again to court and do what we call a certificate of legitimation. A certificate of legitimation is a document that has to be signed by the council and also certified by the court to show that you have officially recognized this child or you have legitimated this child. The only child that you can legitimate is a child who is your biological child. You cannot legitimate a child who is not your biological child. If a child is not your biological child, or you have not been officially married to the mother, you cannot legitimate the child. There is another child which falls somehow not under the 4 categories of children I talked about, which they call them a recognized child. If you have a child and, like, for example, I played the DV lottery as the primary entrant, and then I'm a man, but I have a child that I had with another lady. I'm not getting married to the lady, but I have gotten married to another person and I have a child. You do what they call recognition. You recognize this child if you want to travel with a child. Because as a man, each child that you want to travel with without the mother, you need to recognize this child. There is a letter that you write to the court that you want to recognize the child, and then approved by the mother of this child. The court grants you that application to show that, okay, we have allowed you to recognize this child. And when you finally recognize the child, you will be given a certificate of recognition. And this certificate of recognition will now officially allow you to have parentage over this child, that you can be able to bring this child with you into the United States of America. That is recognition, but it does not fall under the 4 types of children I talked about, because recognition falls somehow under legitimated children, because with this case, you still have to do a certificate of legitimation, though it is not actually going to be somehow backed like when you had the child under, like when you are married to the mother of the child, but know that you can bring the child to the US as well. Now, the third type of child that you can bring in is what we call an adopted child. You can actually adopt a child and bring to the US. If you play the DV lottery and you are planning to bring in a child to the US that is not yours, people usually make this mistake where you have a brother's child, or you have someone that you intend to bring into the US. Hey guys, people are back. All right, I'm live. Okay, I'll see you shortly. All right. So now, if you have a child that you intend to bring into the US, maybe it is not your child, and you want to adopt this child, you have to. There is a law that you need to prove that you must have lived with this child for 2 years. You have to adopt that child. You go into the adoption process, adopt the child, and prove that you have lived with this child under the same roof for 2 years. If you have not attained the 2 years minimum rule to live with the child, you can never be allowed to bring the child to the US. Then you should understand that you don't adopt your blood. People make this mistake and they say that this is my sister's child that I adopted. This is my brother's child who died that I adopted. You don't adopt your blood. If you adopt somebody that is related to you somehow, that adoption will be fake. They will not accept you. You don't adopt your family member. Adoption in this case means that you are adopting a very neutral person. And the reason why they do is because you do it on humanitarian basis. Adopting somebody means that you don't have any relationship with this person. You are not adopting this person because of any gains. You are adopting this person because you want to help them. You realize that no, this person has grown up with this kind of condition, or because this kind of family. The person don't have parents, or the parents are not financially fit or capable to take care of this child, and that is why I adopted the person. That's why they call adopted child. Natural child, or what they taught us when they teach us, we call with learner in French, they call it enfant naturel. A natural child is normally a child that has only one parent. The child does not have a father, or the child does not have a mother. In most cases, the children, we have natural children from people we call single moms. Single moms have people that they call natural children. And a natural child with a single mom is that child that maybe the mother had this child, and then the father just went away. The father just left and went away. Immediately they had the child, and you don't know who is the father of the child. In this case, you declare this child as a natural child, and nobody needs to ask you who is the father of the child, because you have already declared that the child is a natural child. Now, a natural child can also be maybe a man. We also have men who have children that have been abandoned to them. We also call these children natural children, because there is no mother for the child. The father has the child alone. And you have to understand, it's even more difficult for us men to travel with children without the mother, or to recognize children without the mother approving. But if you can be able to declare that this child is a natural child because you are the only parent that has this child, you will be allowed to travel with the child to the US. So these are 4 children that you can be allowed to move in with after winning the DV lottery: natural child, adopted child, legitimate child, and legitimated children. Please, I have a question. Is it possible my husband played the lottery within? Okay, no, I already answered this question. Hello, good evening. Yeah, good evening, Larry Ned. Thanks for joining. Let me see if I have any other questions. Yeah, if you have a question, answer today. Now, if you even have a question, maybe you played the DV lottery last year and you have because I've been having people coming to me with questions inbox. I am not able to answer all the questions inbox. I use, like, if I have chance, I can answer the questions generally so that everybody can learn. But when you come with your questions inbox, it is not easy for me to be able to take them. That's why I'm here. Please say I have a question. Is it possible? Is this still the same question? Now, wow. Now, question, they follow me, or not me, they follow that question. Okay, all right. I see you sending the question several times. That's why I keep on taking the same question. Please, okay, please. I will snap my own picture and send to you tomorrow so that you can. I said that I'm not promising people, because I have so much work to do. If you send your picture to me, just be patient. If you send it, just be patient. I so that if I have the time, I'll do it. All right. Let's see if we have any more questions here for the dealer. Just choosing. Veroda, a question, no? Carry. Okay, somebody said my mom told me she played for 23 years old and finally gave up. Yeah, your mom needs. I have one lady who wrote GC advanced level for 9 years, and when she won, when she finally ended up having the certificate, the GC board gave her a certificate of perseverance. Your mother could have kept playing. Now, why did she give up? It's good to keep playing. With that, maybe she was supposed to win in the 24th year, and that's when she finally ended up or ended giving up. So it's always good to keep playing. We know they give up. We know they give up. Don't give up when playing the DV lottery. Let me see if I have questions that I don't. So yeah, we don't give up. You both can't go together because he played as single. But if you guys have a legal marriage certificate before he is selected, then good. I don't know the question you are answering. Say I played and I won the third year at Awa and Sons. You see, yeah, she played and then she won the third year. You understand? So it's always good to always keep on playing, keep on playing, keep on playing. Don't give up. Miracle, no the tire Jesus. My younger sister won 2 years ago, and when she submitted her file but was never called again. Can anything still be done about it? God, okay, this is another point, please. This is another point that I want to talk about for people playing. If you see that these people have a lot of files that they are working with, if the younger sister was not called up again, it means that the from DS260 had issues. The DS260 had issues, and then that's why she was not called up again. Or maybe there are formalities that were not accepted in that form, or maybe she made some mistakes or all that. But if you fail, you are submitting your DS260. This is the time that you need to you really know what you are doing. Okay, Clove, is it Chloe Fashion? So if your sister, you said 2 years ago, I don't know if it's DV Lottery 2023 because they're still taking people for DV Lottery 2023 and DV Lottery 2024. Let me know. You can get to me and we see what was the problem, and then we try to get to the consular services and see if there's something they can do about it, or to see if there's a problem. We can send an email to them or an inquiry. But if it is DV Lottery 2022, just forget about it. I don't know which year she played, but if she played like in 2021, as from 2021 upward, we can maybe do something. We can try to get to them and see if they can do something. But if that's below that year, I don't think anything can be done again. Hey, you must not shave your hair, okay? The artificial intelligence does not have anything to do with your hair. Silas, it doesn't have anything to do with your hair. You can leave your hair the way you want. It's okay. It's anyway. I just always recommend that it's good to be clean. That's it. If you don't, you are that kind of person that you don't want to shave your hair. Don't just go and shave your hair just because you want to play the DV lottery. Do whatever you want with your hair. It's okay for you. But just make sure that you are using a white background, very white. When I say white background, don't go and use a white background that is dirty and then you want to play. One of my brother played 14 times before winning. This lottery also needs specific. Of course, this is what I'm talking about. Somebody played 14 times. You are not even spending money now. How much are you spending to play the DV lottery? It is not. You are not spending any money. So keep on playing. Okay. Don't give up. My brother won this year 2 years ago till today. He has never been called up for an interview. Yes, Etelin, that is the same thing I'm talking about. That's the same thing I'm talking about. Winning the DV lottery does not even mean that you are traveling. Okay, now let's talk about this. Last year, they needed 55,000 people, but 100,000 people were selected. You get that? Being selected for the DV lottery does not mean that you will be called up for an interview. When you select, there's a limit that they will take. So the reason why they take more is because most of the people who win and are called up for interview do not qualify. And now when you are in the waiting list, you will be taken down you will be given the opportunity to come in for the interview. For example, if they need 55,000 people a year, and at the end of the day, they finally ended up taking only 54,000, they will go into the rest of the 45,000 people that were selected, that were not called up for an interview, and then call you to come in for an interview, give you the chance. That is it. But if you are if you had the opportunity to submit just your DS-260 form, it means that you have already been considered. In this case, I'm looking detailedly at people who submitted their DS-260 form and were not even called up for an interview again. If you submitted the form, it means that you are even given the opportunity, because some people are not even given the opportunity to submit the DS-260 form. When you win it, that's all. Like, you just wait and wait and wait, like you will never even be called again because your number was so far. So let me know. You can drop in the comment section, or you can also send me a message inbox. Let me know if that is what is going on. Please, I have a question. Is it possible? Oh no, not again now. I wanted to ask, if one played last year and did not win, can he still use the same photo? No, don't do it. Your photo should not be more than 6 months old. If you use a photo, the machine has those pictures have a digital signature. Some people usually look and they say, like, no, hey, my picture's still fine, the picture clean. However, I can still use the picture. That in every photograph that you take, there is a digital signature. Whenever the signature goes into the machine shows the date that the picture was taken. You might not know, but those pictures have signatures on it and time and date. So when they put it in the machine, it dictates. So any picture that is more than 6 months old is automatically booted out of the system, disqualified, and sent to hell. So don't do that mistake with your picture. They say, but some people play with first school living certificate and they won. Okay, right there you go. If somebody played with first school living certificate and won, there's no problem. You can win, like I said, but you will not travel. That's it. You can play even without first school living. You can play with nothing and win, but you will not travel. That is it. If somebody lies to you that they play with first school living, won and travel, send that person to me. Let me show you one of the number one liars that has ever existed in the whole world. Unless this person falls under one of the categories I talked about, which is the 5 years training and experience of about 2 years. So, which is recognized by the US government, and a certificate from an institution which is verified. But if somebody, it's not like you cannot win, you can win. The problem is not winning. Everybody can win DV lottery. You can win it like no issues. But the problem is to travel. They say that, okay, Nigerians don't play, these countries don't play. Like they say that the people from Mexico, they don't play, but people can still play from Mexico and win. But the thing is that, will you travel? No, you will not. You will win and then you will not go anywhere because you will be disqualified when filling the DS-260 form. Okay, let's see if we still have questions. I think there are a lot of things that I needed to talk about here, but I don't know if I've exhausted them. That will only be based on questions that you have, Lisa. Somebody says you show the real stars. Somebody sent the real stars. Those stars, the stars, when we're talking about restart, you need to have a card there. No, not everybody send restarts. You need to have a credit card because you buy those stars with money. So you buy stars with money. If you don't have money to buy the stars, this will not allow you to send the stars. When you normally send the stars, that's why they give it to me. They pay the money. You buy the stars from them, and then they pay the money to me. So all these ones that Eugene was sending like this and insulting me again on top of it, they are fake stars that he sent. So he sent fake stars again, cost me on top of the fake stars we come send on me. I'm trying to look, check something here with the comments and no. Okay, let me see if we have any more questions, guys. Let me touch the basic last stuff and then we go. Gosh, I can't see that. I can't see that. I can't see anything. Okay, so yeah, John Paul sent the correct stars. Thank you so much, John Paul, for the stars, bro. I appreciate. Yeah, he's the one that sent the correct stars. Those are the stars I was trying to look at because you need to have a credit card to be able to send stars. Not everybody just sends stars. There's a day that most of you like. I will do a video one day now just to teach people how to send the stars if you want to be able to send the stars. So, questions? Are we just satisfied? Can we now all say that at least? No, okay. Last year we are doing the live video like this one, and we did not know that there were some people who will be moving into the US in 2024. But just like a joke, there are people who will be coming in. I'm so much excited. Like, oh God, my most excited moment was like when I checked and I saw that you have been selected for further processing. That was my most. And again, let me tell you, when I was checking for people. The first day I checked for like 50 people on the line, nobody won. Not selected, not selected, not selected. You understand? But before I could check to up to 100 people, I've had 3 people that won after the 50 people that I checked. This is how life is. Don't always give up. I could just also feel discouraged and I give up. Say that, man, what am I even checking again? If I can check about 50 people and then nobody's winning, more than 50, there were more than 50, I think almost 50 something, because I was counting, and then nobody's winning. Why should I keep on checking again? But you know, the way God does, they say the great God works in a mysterious ways. People won. It's just that there's one of my followers who won this thing. He had a family, but he never played with his family. And I'm like, I don't know, when I was preaching here, I don't know what he was asking. Now he's asking me, how can I do to travel with my family? I said, there's nothing you can do to travel with your family because you indicated that you don't have a family. That is the thing. So you just have to travel to the US and maybe one day you can go back to Africa and make as if you get married to them as new people. You are just getting married again, and then you file in from I-130, which is application to petition a family member to come to the US just like any other person, and then they will now come under you as family members, like people you just got married to. Normally, it will not be your children because you already indicated that you do not have children. So what you can do easily is to file for your wife, and then you file for your wife that you are going to go and get married to, which means that you are going to redo a marriage to show that it's just a fresh marriage. And then when your wife is coming in, your wife can then bring the children under her. The children will come under your wife, not under you. Or you can recognize the children like you had them out of wedlock and that you did not indicate in your application. It's somehow still very complicated, but just be ready to go down that road because it's not easy. That's why I always tell people to be precautious and take all precautions from the beginning before you do that. Yeah. Okay, I had my secondary and tertiary education as a Cameroonian in Nigeria. Is there any problem with that? No. It doesn't matter where you have your certificates in whatever country, for as long as I recognize, there is not problem. The only problem is your nationality. If you are a Cameroonian, you can play as a Cameroonian. You will not play as a Nigerian, but as a Cameroonian, despite the fact that you had your documents or you have lived your entire life in Nigeria. Okay, another thing that makes me to also talk about this. If you are a Cameroonian and you get married to a Nigerian, though Nigerians don't play, and then a Nigerian can be a Cameroonian by marriage. You can gain citizenship by marriage. So if your spouse come from a country that is ineligible, and then you come from a country that is eligible, your spouse can be able to come under you through marriage. Your spouse can also gain the nationality through marriage, which means that the person can have the opportunity to be able to come into the US under you using the DV lottery program. Yeah, my brother there says that I take good pictures at Carrefour Emir in Yaoundé. Yeah, you can contact Caleb for your pictures if you're in Yaoundé. It will take you clear pictures to be able to play. There is a saying that God's time is the best. How true is this? Yeah, God's time is the best. Now, my brother, what do you want me to say again? How true? You just said it all. You just talk and finish. So you talk about professional skills not to be gotten from any local. This in light of, yes, this is a list of, they're on the website. I put on a website. I put up a website for the State Department, which you can be able to go through to actually see most of the things that you need to know. But as far as those professional skills are concerned, there are so many of them, and they should be recognized. They should have to be they should be recognized. So you should know that by the government here in the US. So I'm going to talk about those skills. I might not be able to put them up now, but I will make a post and then put those skills up, what you should know. Don't go into any tailoring workshop there and they fool you and give you a certificate and tell you that you should be able to, that you can travel with it. You talked about professional skills. I see the same question. Okay, please, Daddy Chris. My wife is a nurse, but she hasn't O level. Can my kids also play under her? First, your wife is a nurse, but she does not have A level. Has she attained the 12 years of education or the minimum qualification of the 12 years that are needed? If she has ordinary level and she's a nurse, which means that maybe she was able to go to school again for after 2 years and a half education. Like when they're talking about advanced level, it's not just, there are things in Cameroon that have been graded by the government as advanced level. I don't know how true it is now. Things are changing, but if you wrote grade one, teachers grade one with ordinary level, you go to grade one and you stayed for 3 years, you have teachers grade one certificate, which makes you you are the same person, you are like the same person with advanced level. So if you had ordinary level and you were able to attend a school 2 years or 3 years after your ordinary level in Cameroon, which gave you a certificate or a diploma that qualifies you as an advanced level holder, you will be considered that you have an advanced level or baccalaureate, and you can be allowed to travel to the US. So in this case, what I'm saying, Hillary, in essence, is that if your wife is a nurse and has okay, you say she hasn't O level. Oh, so she hasn't O level. So that's going to be tough. But now the diploma that she has as a nurse, how is that diploma graded in Cameroon? That is the question. So I cannot be able, that's a specific question that I cannot answer. And I need to be able to address that question specifically based on your wife's situation, because it also depends. Can a woman really allow the child because he had go? Can a woman really? Yes, now, Nancy. What do you? There are women that have come and dumped women, told men that carry a trouble, go. I have a lady who, like, I recently had a case. It's not even going far now. I had a lady a guy who came to me inbox. The wife dumped the baby in the house and left and went to Douala and told the guy, wrote the guy and left the letter to the guy. So switch off the phone, whether she changed the numbers. The guy is not able to get to the wife again. Left the guy that she was not prepared to have a baby. She was never prepared. She wants to go and continue with her life. She does not need the child in her life. The guy should take her baby. The guy should take his blood, and take care of the baby. The guy took the child. The guy has been struggling to stress the baby, the baby mama. We have been trying to no avail. These are things that happen every day. People get children and then they dump them with men. It's just that nobody talks about it. The only thing we talk about is men dumping children, because that is quite alarming. But there are a few cases where women also drop children with men and then go away. And that's why we call natural children as well, because the men are bound to take care of the children alone. So I wanted to ask that if one played last year and did not win, okay, this question was answered. The question was answered. Let's just go down. That's part of. Is there any qualification needed? So to play DV lottery, yes, the qualification, the education qualification, the 12 years minimum requirement. That is what is needed, 12 years minimum requirement. Is it possible to have your email or WhatsApp? Lottery last year, but how to check my result? Hey, you play at DV lottery last year, you don't know how to check your results. And it looks like I'm the one who played for you. This name, I know the name. No, is it? No, I'm not sure. I don't know. But you have to, just go to Google. Just type check entrance status. When you type check entrance, it will take you to the first link, which you click, you will see 2024. DV Lottery 2024. They will ask you for your confirmation number and your last name or date of birth. These are the only things that they need from you. But those things are case sensitive, because with the confirmation letter, numbers are usually like letters, but you don't have to make a mistake, because if they put 0 and you write O, that is all. It will just tell you that there's an error. You never have it. So you need to make sure that where you're putting 0 is 0 and where you're putting O is O. Okay, is it? My email is on my page. My business WhatsApp number, because I have my business WhatsApp number that's also on my page as well. So if you want to write me, you can send an email to me. Where you just go to my page, you click, you'll see where you can send an email to me, or you can write me through my business, my WhatsApp business number on my page as well. So if you need that information is right there for you. Good evening, Mr. Christian. Please, what if someone has children and during the time he was playing the lottery, the children are not around and he finally plays alone? Can he go along with his kids? No. Someone told me last year when the person was playing, the person told me that there was no way to get pictures of the kids because the kids were in the village and there was no way they could get their pictures. Yeah, they are not your children. And there is a funny thing is that you cannot mention in that application that you have children and you don't bring in the information. Because if you mention and there are no pictures, then the system will not allow you to go ahead. So the only thing to do is to say that you don't have children if you want to play without those children, and know that when you win, there is no way you can travel with those children. And if you're a woman, it is really so hard for you again, because one day you will need to bring them to the US. But since you already said it in your form that you do not have children, it will be difficult. But there is a way, there is a process that we can be able to navigate through to have you bring those children to the US, which you can contact me and we work on that if you are one of those people. Yes, you can play with a partner who has married you traditionally, not legally, but just know that you will be asked to present your marriage certificate when you are about to go to the US or to fill form DS-260. You need it, so you can always go to court to get that document later. Gong Clarice, good evening, sir. First time watching you live, I have learned a lot. Thank you and welcome to the live. Welcome to the family. Okay, this one was gotten. Okay, let's just get few questions. I cannot even take all the questions. Oh my God, I'm tired. I hate being live for this long. So my system is already shutting down. I've really been back to back all these days. Let me just look for questions that I have not answered. If I see one or two questions that I have not answered, I will just answer them when we go. Let me see this question. Did I answer this kind of question? When they say you should play the DV lottery, are there limitations? Because I played last year, with all my certificate, and the person told me it was just the advanced level needed. No, you can which advanced they say advanced level is the minimum. You can play with your master degree or PhD if you have it. Advanced level is a minimum. So the person was supposed to essentially just tell you that you are supposed to play with minimum advanced level. Yes, Joanna B, I answered your question, right? Yeah, I answered your question already. You don't need to, you cannot travel with the children if you are not together with them when you play. You have to be with them. But if you have this case, you can, if you can meet me behind the scene, and then we try to see how we can work together to bring them over to the US. If you play with them for as long as they are children, it's going to be a complicated process, but that is not something that cannot be done. We can do it. There was so I repeat said that what about taking pictures with extended lashes? Is it advisable to take pictures when you are having artificial eyelashes? No, it's not advisable. The artificial intelligence might not be able to dictate to bring out the features that are needed. Your eyes might not be able to read well in the system, and that will disqualify you. So when you are playing pictures, having artificial eyelashes, especially those ones that you are running on top of Okada and they are flying in the air, don't try that nonsense. They will just check you out. No, there is not a strategy, nine. There's no strategy that you can use and have faith. Anyway, always have faith in the first place. What the only strategy that you can use is to do what I've said in this video. That is the strategy. And then, yes, have faith. Let me say it like that. Have faith. But I don't know whether I'll call it faith or confidence. Have faith. My God, this English too strong. I don't know whether to call it faith or confidence, but just have something. Just be positive. Yes. Let me say, just be positive that you'll be selected. But don't ever put all your mind. People played last. There are people that play DV lottery and they start stopping. Maybe they will drop their jobs. They will feel that no, because I played the DV lottery, I'm going to win. Especially last year, what happened last year when a lot of people play was because it was said that people that is no passport was no longer a requirement, because the other years Donald Trump came up and talked about passport being a requirement. So last year, passport was no longer a requirement, and a lot of people who didn't have passport played. And when people played, just the way they were talking about the DV lottery, everybody was confident that they were gonna win. And because things could not turn on well, maybe before that time, people's lives were stagnant. People did not do something better with their lives. There are people who did not pick up jobs. There are people who actually stopped what they were doing, and with the hope that they were going to travel to the US, or with the hopes that they were going to win the DV lottery. At the end of the day, it failed them big time. So this is not something that you should always plan on, but I'll tell you to be positive. Somebody like me, I'm always positive in whatever thing I do. And more than 90% of things that I do, I get them, especially when I'm positive about it. I always announce it before it even comes. I know, like, it happens. So always be positive. Positivity works. If you have a positive mindset, I'm telling you, there are things that you achieve in your life that you don't even know. I've told people about things that I'm going to achieve, and they were like looking at me as a witch. And at the end of the day, I achieved them. So it's not always like you must have to be doubting yourself. Doubt kills a lot of hopes. Yeah, Immaculate said that this thing that said that you have not been selected. You have not been selected for further processing. That one usually comes out like in capital letters. It is the most fattest handwriting that I've ever seen in my life. The first year when I just first of all played DV lottery, because the first time that I ever played DV lottery in my life was in 2009. When I played DV lottery, I was also having faith, like this kind of faith. Yeah, no, I'm usually having faith in everything that I'm doing now. That was like I was so confident that I win it. Of course, since everything that I'm always trusting, I have it. But unfortunately, when I went and checked, I saw that fat handwriting that you have not been selected. I thought that it would change with time, so I will keep on coming again to check. For the whole of that time, since they said that I had to check, they gave me a particular period that I have to check. Like, I always keep on checking every day to make sure that I've won. And I saw it last end for premium. It ended in premium tiers. He ended in premium tiers. So, hey guys, keep trying, keep pushing. What about drivers? So do they have a certificate? Yes, you need to have that 12 years qualification, my dear. You need to have the 12 years, no matter who you are. It should be 12 years qualification, that minimum 12 years. My friend has children but couldn't play with her children because they are not around. Can her children travel with her or meet her after she travels? Her children cannot meet her after she travels. Her children cannot travel with her, Evelyn, because she did not put in her certificate in her form that she had children. And one advice that you should tell your friend is that your friend should not even say that she has children now that she has already won. Because if your friend goes to the interview and finally end up saying that she has, that's a mistake that some other people do. They want to go and say, okay, let me just try my luck. If you said that you were not married or you said that you did not have children, and on the day of your interview or when you are feeling you're from DS260, you indicate that you have children, you will be automatically disqualified. They call it as, I don't know God, that word in law, I'm forgetting it, but there's a way they call it, which is that you have negative intent to migrate to the United States of America. You're trying to scam the US immigration because you said that you do not have children and now you want to say that you have children, or you said that you don't have a husband and now you want to say that you have a husband. There is a name that they call it in law. So don't do it. If you anything that you put in your application, maintain it and live by it. When you finally come to the US now, we can try to see what we can do to bring your children. There are other ways that we can try to bring the children. We can get a way to help you move along with the children, come over and meet you. But that will not be under lottery. That will not be under you, really. But there is a way that they can come in legally using your advantage, because you have an advantage. When you come in with a green card here, you have advantages that you can explore. So with these advantages, we can make your children who did not win or who did not put under you to officially immigrate and then meet you in the US. So don't make that mistake. People have made the mistake and they are refused. Good evening. So my question is this: when adopting a child, is it a must that you change his or her name to beat yours, or you can still maintain his or her parents' name? No, it must be your own names now. When you adopt the child is yours. How can a child be yours without bearing your name? Now, this is the point. Bearing your name means that your name needs to be in the child certificate. It's just like when you get married to a woman, the woman bears your name, but the woman must not need to go into her birth certificate or whatever and change her name. Your name is just being attached to the woman's name when you married her. Like in Cameroon, for instance, they put a Pus. Maybe your name is Oben. Maybe, for example, your name is Oben Irene, or let's say your husband's name that you get married is Oben. So when they put your name, they will put Irene Epus Oben, or Oben Irene Epus Oben, which means that you have gotten married. So if you adopt children, there is a place where it indicates in the adoption certificate that you are the father of those children. They must not change the names of their birth certificate or whatever, but your name shows that you are the name of your father of children. So those children actually need to have your name attached to them by law to show that you officially have those children. Can someone be a degree holder but use the advanced level to play the lot? Yes, there's no problem. You just need to use the advanced level as a minimum to play. It just needs to be a minimum. Can an ordinary level holder with the grade 1 certificate be considered qualified for the visa? Yes. If you have ordinary level and you have grade 1 certificate, then you are qualified. You have attended. That's what I think I talked about this here. I talked about this in this live video. If you have ordinary level and you have grade 1 certificate, then you are qualified. You have attended the minimum, the 12 years minimum. Is it advisable to use the same pictures that was used last year? Never. Don't try that. Try that, you're gone. I'm so impressed with the whole live video of today. More wisdom, my brother. Thank you, my sister. Can I play with a daughter I just adopted without any legal document? Yes, if you play with a daughter that you just adopted without any legal document, there's no problem. But you need to show that you have 2 years of stay with that daughter. You need to show that you have been living with that child for 2 years. There are documents that they will ask you to prove it. So if you have living with the child, there are affidavits that you can prove. There are what we call financial documents of sponsorship to show you have been paying the child school fee for the 2 years or taking care of the child for 2 years. Yeah. Okay, so guys, I think I'm going to be shutting down this live video now, right? Yeah, I think I need to, I should be stopping. How, Daddy Chris, how if you don't have the O-level certificate, but you have a professional diploma of a what hotelier, a hotelier, that means you have a diploma in hotel management or something like that. Can you win and travel? Yes and no. If that diploma is recognized in Cameroon as an equivalent to advanced level or 12 years education, then you should be allowed to travel with it. Because the US government, the US embassy that is working in Cameroon or your country is working in regards to the country's laws too. So they have to look at what you have to see if it's qualified in your country. It's not complicated if you play without your kids. As soon as you get to the US, you just need to file for them. They will need to do a DNA to prove that they are. No, it is Ferdinand. When you come to the US, when you play for kids, and you come to the US and file for the kids to show a DNA that you have to prove, because in your form you indicated that you did not have kids. If you go to, unless you can get a good immigration officer, a good US immigration officer that can just decide to understand with you. If you play with kids and you had indicated that you don't have kids and you come to the US and show that they are your kids, even before allowing you, because your application needs to be first of all approved with US Citizenship and Immigration Services before you are being sent to the embassy. The place where a DNA is being asked is the US Embassy in Cameroon that asks for DNA. So the US citizenship here, before they approve, they look at your system, your name in the system to see how you came into the US. They look at those things. If they see that you came in through the DV lottery and you say that you do not have children, there is a possibility that they can reject your I-130 or they reject your application for you not to travel, for the children not to come. But if it reaches a good person and the person just decides to overlook that thing and approve your application, that's when they will send it back to the US Embassy in your country. The US Embassy will now give you the opportunity to file for your kids to travel and meet you, because it has been identified that those are your kids through a DNA. So that is the only thing. So let's not make that mistake. We have had mistakes of people like that who have done it, and it has been so tough for them to come with their kids because of what they did. All right, guys. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I think that is it for today. I don't actually know if we have any other questions, anything that I need to talk about, because I need to be shutting down. I need to be shutting down the system. Yes. Your daddy is tired. I wish to know what's the cause for a person that was selected but was not called for further procedure. I talked about this, right? I said it here, Staggio. The problem is that 100,000 people are selected every year, but only 55,000 people are needed in the US. So that's why you see someone who was selected, but the person was not called for an interview, because the 55,000 people that were needed were already taken. When the US government said that they need 55,000 people, there is never a way that they can take 55,001. No, they will not even add even one. So just know that last year, 45,000 people who won DV lottery will not be traveling to the US. Just know that and know peace. So when you are selected, it does not mean that you will travel. And this is why you need to be able to fix all those holes. To the interviewers, they're always looking for a possible ways to reject you. They reject people now. People still go to interview and they reject them. So winning does not mean that you will travel. So 45,000 people who won last year are not going to be traveling, and then only 55,000 people will travel. So that is the point. So you have to make sure that you are who you say you are. Everything that you are filling in your application is just like saying that you have advanced level. Meanwhile, you have only first school living, and when you win, you are not able to show your advanced level. You will not travel. It's just like you said that you are married. When meanwhile you are not married, and when you win, you are not able to prove that you are married. Then you are not traveling. It's just like you won when you have a criminal record, and when you win, they see that you have a criminal record, you are not going to travel. It's just like you win when you have an illness, a terminal disease that the US government looks at it to be a danger to their country, and when you finally, you are not finally being allowed to come into the country because of that disease. All right, so I have to be ending right now. We'll see again next week. I will not be talking about DV lottery next week unless it's absolutely necessary, but somehow we have opportunities to meet again and talk about other stuff. We always have these live shows every weekends. Normally we do it sometimes on Saturday and Sundays, and sometimes I do it only on Sundays. But next week I'm having a program. I will be coming live next week on Saturday, same time, and I'll also be coming live on Sunday. I have some guests that we are expecting to have them next week. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being part of the broadcast today. I appreciate you. If you are joining in after this broadcast, just still share it, and we will see again. You'll see me when I see you. Bye bye. Bon New Year, tout le monde.